So you are a successful, shrewd investor, and you are close to the president, which is a great combination because right now we are looking at the market set new records day after day. How aware is the president and the team around him of those records, and how much responsibility do they feel to deliver to support that kind of valuation?
Oh, they're keenly aware, and I think the responsibility is overwhelming, and it's multifaceted because there's so many pieces of building a platform that's based on hope, predictability, transparency, and unconfused expectations, right? So I think as the president slowly gets his team in place, because his White House team is established, but of course the agencies are still unfulfilled. The confirmation process is quite complicated and difficult. So I think the hope that the market is voting with its feet everywhere in the world is exhilarating and also frightening, because to sustain that momentum takes a multifaceted approach across all of these agencies, a global perspective, a consistent foreign policy, an understandable budget, and on things, you were talking to Jim about infrastructure. These are huge, unbelievable concepts that have very complicated details and implementation. So I think they feel the burden in an overwhelming way, but hope and the world voting with its feet, the way these financial markets are responding, I think is a great contributive sign for them.
So as you point out, this is a multifaceted job. There are a lot of things going on, but the president has said his first goal is jobs in the economy. That's really what he wants to accomplish. He has to get through Obamacare, he says, in order to get there. That would not necessarily have been his first choice to get the economy growing. How quickly can they get past that, and how fast can he get to some of the really underlying growth policies?
How fast he gets through Obamacare, we're going to find out, right? This is a complicated process, and really the budget will be his first legislative initiative in going through this consensus process, which will be a challenge for everybody. And I think the great news is he has the best partner imaginable in Vice President Pence. So Vice President Pence understands the legislative process, is conciliatory. He has a great budget director. But Obamacare will be a challenge for sure. But I don't think that's going to be an impediment to the other processes. So shrinking government, getting regulation down, getting a tax policy, Steve Mnuchin and Gary Cohn will get that wrapped up. I think Congress will embrace it. And to the middle class, that'll be a boon. Then on the edges of all these things, increasing military spending is a noteworthy cause, and where the money comes from is another challenge. So the big themes of where you take it out of the rest of the budget will be the details as you put together this Lego set, which is now going to be a legislative enactment. So I think you're going to see the science part of it now take place. The art was framing what the policies are, and I think the president did an unbelievable job in showing compassion and a leniency to other points of view in his last speech.
So we're going to get to the budget and drill down deeper in the next segment. But the Dow, 21,000, S&P was over 2,400 yesterday. They believe you. They believe that hope. They believe the survey data. They believe that. The Treasury market does not. You had actually a flatter curve yesterday, slightly steeper today. But how do you reconcile that when you have one class of investors saying, okay, we're going to buy your growth, and the other asset class saying, we're not buying your growth story?
Yeah, I think two different investor sets, right? So if you look at...
True, but you say that if we're going to have a growth story and stocks are buying into it, banks are buying into it, a lot of them hitting all-time highs yesterday, but the rate market doesn't keep up, that does make a difference.
Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, right? In the long term, over a 10-year spectrum, I think it makes no difference. What you're doing is selling hope, expectations, and transparency, and you're selling fear, right? This is just the way markets work. So at the moment, we're at hope. And without any geopolitical interference, there's no better proxy in the world for any currency or liquidity than America. There just isn't.